Hey guys, it's Jen, and today I wanted to share with you some of the goodies I just picked up from the Sephora VIB sale. I'm just gonna start off by saying a lot of the things I bought, it's because I have a specific video in mind. I want to do a whole video just using minis, so about half of what I got was just mini products, which I am really excited to share about because, you know, a lot of those are limited in terms of what shades are available and what you can choose from at all. But it was really fun to just pull together different categories of items to be able to do a whole face. And then I got a few other products that I'm like super excited about that I've been wanting for quite a long time. So just hopping right in, I'm going to get started with something that I have been talking to my friends about wanting for literally a year now. This is the Dyson Airwrap. I gave in and I finally just splurged on it because for my birthday last year, which by the way is in December, a whole bunch of my friends came together and got me a couple of gift cards so that I could buy this. However, I just couldn't wrap my mind around spending that much money for the product full price, even though my friends did give me a couple gift cards, but it was specifically to Sephora. I had the page bookmarked for the product. It was always out of stock. I don't know what their game is. Like every time I would look at it, it was out of stock and just completely not available. However, right when the sale started, it came back in stock. So I think maybe in anticipation of knowing that the sale was going to happen and a lot of people were going to splurge on this product with the discount code, I think they brought them in. But at least, hey, you know, waiting kind of paid off because I not only got the very expensive product in stock, but also with the discount and also with my very generous friends' gift cards. So I didn't end up paying like an insane amount completely on my own. But I am in the end glad that I waited for the sale. I mean, that's something for you guys to keep in mind if you're wanting to splurge on it. Sometimes it's good to wait for the good deal. Black Friday's coming up, you guys. Something might happen. We'll see. So I got the Smooth and Control version, which I believe has the 1.2 inch 2 Airwrap barrels and then 2 of the 1.6 inch Airwrap barrels, and then the firm smoothing brush because my hair is on the thicker side. I didn't necessarily feel like I needed the thinner brush that they have. I usually want a pretty firm pull when I'm trying to straighten my hair out. So this is the version that I got for frizz prone hair, which is definitely mine. This is my hair being air dried by itself, so it definitely has some texture and a lot of frizz to it. Let me just open this up. Oh my gosh, this thing is really heavy. It's like birthing a baby. Okay, so this looks really nice. It's got a very giant package. Good thing that I'm used to lifting a couple of babies who are, you know, 25, 35 pounds, because this is very heavy. I like that it has a little magnetic clasp here at the front. There's a QR code to be able to watch some tutorials. This is what the brand new one looks like on the inside. I'm really excited to use it. If you guys want me to do like a first impressions, trying it out video, let me know down in the comments. I know there's a lot of those floating around on YouTube by now and I'm very late to the game. If you guys still want to see that, let me know and I might do that video if enough of you guys are interested. The different pieces that it comes with, it has just the regular blow dryer attachment, the 2 bigger barrels, the 2 smaller barrels, and then this is that flat brush. So it's pretty good sized. I have used heated brush curlers before in the past. I used to have this one from Helen of Troy, which I really love. I actually don't know where that went. Maybe it didn't make it here with me when I moved from Kansas, but I really did like it. When I would curl my hair with that, you guys would always ask me how I did my hair. But this one is nice because you can start with completely wet hair. And then this is the wand. What I've heard is that it's slightly less powerful than the full-on blow dryer, but it gets the job done enough to curl it, and then you just can have both steps done using the one machine. So very excited to test that out, and that was definitely my big splurge purchase. Okay, next I wanted to share the next thing I'm probably the most excited about, which is another Anastasia Beverly Hills eyeshadow palette. I absolutely love the ABH palettes in general. I already have the Modern Renaissance one and Soft Glam, so I was really excited to get this one, which is her collaboration with Jackie Aina. First of all, Jackie is like one of the nicest people ever, so sweet, and she just had really great colors in this palette, so I wanted to see it in person. Check out this package. She's like definitely all about the hollow, the like oil slick rainbow kind of look, which is so beautiful. I also like that the packaging is not the same velvet as the other ABH palettes, because it's not going to get as dirty over time and get the eyeshadow stuck in it, which the velvet ones tend to kind of do. This is what it looks like on the inside. It's actually very similar to my eyeshadow look I'm wearing today. Obviously I didn't use this palette, but it has a lot of purples, a lot of golds, a lot of rich, warm, reddish brownie tones, which I absolutely love and I'm also really, really into for the fall season. And then of course one of my oldie but goodie favorites is this one right here, which is a greenish, brownish, almost purpley tinted duochrome shade. Like, I just love colors like that because those kinds of shades always look like you put more work into your shadow than you did, because it looks multi-dimensional even though you're just using the one product. So I'm super, super excited on getting a little more fancy and extreme with my makeup looks, because this has a little bit more color variety than I've been wearing for the last few years. The next product I picked up was a skincare product that I'm actually repurchasing. This is from The Ordinary. I'm actually on a pretty strict skincare regimen from my esthetician right now. However, niacinamide plus zinc 1% from The Ordinary is something that I use during my pregnancy, and I also know it's not going to interact with the other products I'm using right now. I feel like for my skin, not only is this like fairly gentle, it doesn't make me break out, it actually helps with a lot of my breakouts, but just in general, it gave me a more even complexion and gave me just a little bit of that something extra. Like, I just looked a little bit clearer, a little less broken out, a little less irritated, and had a little more glow. It's hard to explain exactly having it do one specific thing. Maybe it's a little bit like anti-inflammatory. I'm not an expert on niacinamide specifically. I just know when I used this, I really loved it. And because you can't use all different kinds of products when you're pregnant, and I knew that this actually was safe for pregnancy, post-pregnancy for breastfeeding, I know that I feel pretty good about being able to integrate it into my skincare routine again. So yeah, I didn't want to go super crazy, even though I really love The Ordinary and a lot of different things. I've done like big splurges on them in the past, but one thing I find is because it is a little bit more inexpensive, I tend to go crazy and then I can't try everything in a reasonable amount of time without my skin freaking out from trying too many different things at once. So I kind of tempered myself. I just got the one product that I know I'm going to completely use up and love once again, and I just really recommend this if you guys are really sensitive skinned, if you're pregnant, breastfeeding, have reactive skin and want to try something that might just calm it down a little bit. I definitely recommend trying this one out, especially if you haven't tried like everything from The Ordinary and just want to take a baby step into the brand. Next, I actually am going to start off, this is ironic that this is a mini because I think I intended to buy the full-size version as a repurchase item, but regardless, I really, really, really love the Sephora solid brush cleaner, especially when I'm traveling. A lot of times I just kind of don't wash my brushes for the duration of the trip because it's another liquid thing you have to take along with you. It's another time spent doing an activity that's not super fun. However, with these little solid brush cleaners, it does make washing your brushes so quick, so easy. It comes with a tiny, tiny little silicone pad so that you can wash your brushes and get a little bit of that deep cleaning action. It can agitate the brushes, but not so harshly that it's going to hurt or harm the bristles. And then you just have the little soap cake inside there. So what I'll usually do is just take my brush, wet it under the sink, rub it into the soap, and then I put the little silicone pad inside the lid and just run it around in a circle until I get the bristles really nice and clean, and it's just such a great little system. I actually really love how tiny this is because it's just not going to take up a ton of space, and I feel like my other one lasted a really, really long time. Obviously, it depends on how frequently you wash your brushes. One tip I will say is don't dunk this entire thing under the sink because the soap will melt, but if you just wet the bristles first and then go right in onto the actual scrubbing pad, then I feel like the soap does last for quite a long time. I think it's a really great inexpensive product and one of my favorite types of ways to clean my brushes out of like all the products out there. Okay, now I think we've made it to our mini selection, which I'm so excited excited about. I, on purpose, decided to choose quite a lot of products that I either have not used before or is not the thing that I regularly use in my daily makeup routine, just so when I do put them on my face and use them for a video in the future that I can actually have like a reaction video at the same time. So let's start off with this product because I actually have never bought anything from Natasha Denona before. She has products that I've heard are incredibly amazing, but I feel like they're also possibly the most expensive brand that Sephora carries. A lot of her eyeshadow palettes are like $130, $150 each, which is quite a big splurge when you already have probably more eyeshadow palettes than you could possibly use in your lifetime. So I was really excited to see that she has minis. I am a huge fan of mini eyeshadow products, not just to use every day, but if you do travel, if you're going on a weekend trip, I love things that are just compact and have an entire look just in a small amount of space that makes it really easy for just taking it along with you or just not having a really bulky makeup bag. So this is the mini nude palette. If you're going somewhere or using something frequently, I feel like you can't go wrong with sticking with beautiful neutral shades, and I really liked that this nude palette, especially in a lot of the comments and the reviews, it leans more warm, which of course I'm a huge fan of. I do have yellow undertones in my skin, so I just find that warmer palettes will tend to look more natural and more normal on my skin tone versus a lot of cooler nude tones. They just kind of tend to look gray on my skin because it's sort of canceled out by my base of yellowness. I just feel like they don't look right. I always say this to my friends when talking about eyeshadow. If you think of like a human and the human colors that you might get, like if you go on a jog and you flush a little bit, you'll get more pink, you'll get a little bit more warm toned. And then if you think of like zombies, what color are they? Their skin tends to be a little more like gray. So I used to really like a lot of taupey tones. That's like 10 years ago, that was like totally popular everywhere. But you know what? Now I feel like I'm just into the warmer, more skin toned looking shades that will just enhance the radiance of my skin instead of making it look a little more dull or tired, which I feel like grayer tones tend to do. So anyway, long story short, I picked up the mini nude palette. I love that they're a little bit more warm. I've heard in some reviews, not necessarily for the mini nude, but I think the mini sunset palette, people were a little bit disappointed in the formula. So I have not tried her big shadows. I don't really have anything to compare it with, but from a first impression standpoint, I do think it looks really nice. I feel like the price wasn't that bad. I want to say maybe it was like 25 bucks or so for this. There are 5 shades. The only thing I feel like is really missing here is a brow bone highlight shade. However, if I'm going to be completely honest, I have not been using a brow bone highlight shade all of the time when I do my makeup, so I think that's totally fine. It just gives me another space for like increased versatility within the palette so I can try a few different looks on. Let's do a little swatcheroo. Ooh, okay, so far it seems extremely creamy. The matte shade feels extremely creamy as well. It's going on like butter. Right off the bat, I can say I already really love how this feels. I have so much experience with trying out different eyeshadows, and these definitely don't feel chalky at all, and they look super pigmented. They look beautiful on my skin tone, especially I like this little matte shade right here because I always like using a 1 shade darker than my eyelid shade transitional blending color, and that's just the perfect color for my skin. Actually, all of these are kind of neutrals that I tend to gravitate towards, so I'm super excited to use that. Plus, I also love how tiny it is. The size is like super tiny, and I feel like it'll fit in a makeup bag really well, especially when I'm traveling. Next, speaking of powdery products, the next product I wanted to share is the Jouer Blush Bouquet in Rose Gold. This has 2 different blush shades in it. I really love Jouer as a company. I've loved using their products for years, and their blushes are super gorgeous, so I was excited when I specifically was like looking for mini products. Well, first of all, they're available at Sephora now, which whoop whoop, that's super exciting because they have been a company I've been so excited for so many years, way before they were carried at Sephora, so I'm glad that the wider audience now gets to experience their beautiful products. But what I liked about this is there is a lighter blush shade and a darker one. So depending on how I'm feeling, if I want to be a little more cutesy, I could do the lighter one. Or if I want to do my like blush and contour in one technique, I can always use this more neutral, darker one right here. Let's do a little swatchies. I'm really happy to say that both colors really do seem to at least show up on my skin, because I find a lot of lighter shades that look like this sometimes don't show up. Kind of depends on how much like actual pigment is in there, but it looks really cute actually. I would wear both of these colors. Next, I'm grabbing this one. This is from IT Cosmetics. This is the CC Plus cream. I've heard so many people rave about this product, and so I picked it up in medium. I'm hoping the color will match me because the minis didn't have every single shade available, but I feel like it will. I also like that it's a little mini size. Again, great for travel, great for me trying out the product to see if I want to use it faux evs before buying the full size. At first glance, I feel like that'll match my skin. I'll let it sit there and see if it will oxidize or get darker. I think because I'm a little bit on the tanner side right now, it should be able to work okay. So next, this is another product that I do really like and have in the full size version. I think I gave this to my mom because I was like, oh my, this is so fancy, you're gonna love it. And she was asking me for a primer. So I didn't have it anymore, but I really do love the Tatcha Silk Canvas Foundation Primer. I've been using a couple of new foundations lately. They haven't been working with every single primer type that I've been using. So I'm excited about this, that it is a little tiny version. Tatcha Silk Canvas just comes in sort of this little smooth, creamy pan, so you can just scrape a little bit out and then blend that into your skin. You don't need a ton of this each time you use it, so I do feel like this is a really great size to just take along with you. Plus, I also like that it's really flat versus a lot of primer containers, which tend to be a pump bottle or a larger container. Again, for travel, this is really great too because it's not a liquid, it's just a solid. So that's another little tip for like airplane travel. Check out solid versions of products that you normally use because you don't have a problem with the liquid limit. So this is another product that I've never tried before. It's from Huda Beauty, matte and cream lip set in Venus / Demi Matte and Day Slayer. I got the more neutral colored one. There is a liquid matte and a demi matte and then a lip pencil. So I thought this would be a good way of testing out Huda Beauty's lip products just in one fell swoop. Plus these are super great to just be able to throw into a purse. The thing I was a little bit disappointed about in the mini lip products from Sephora is I was looking for something a little bit more like an MLBB, something to be able to wear every single day. And I felt like when I was looking at the minis on Sephora, there weren't a whole lot of mini lipsticks that weren't like super bright or super extreme colors. So this was the closest to a neutral kind of lip that I could find. I'm just hoping it's not like overly dark like the Instagram baddie kind of lip. If it is, I'm not gonna be terribly mad because I do that sometimes. It's just I find a lot of liquid lipsticks, they tend to start out being a little warmer and a little more natural lip shade, but as they sort of oxidize and dry down, they tend to get a little more cooler and a little more purple, which sometimes for me, I just don't want to like have lips that look like I'm trying too hard all the time, you know, or like just aren't so edgy. I like to have like a little more warmth and brightness to my lips. We'll see how this is. Taking a little sniff test, I feel like there's a little hint of vanilla-y kind of scent to it, but also kind of mixed with chemicals. That's kind of what I pick up from it. I would prefer things that are completely unscented, but again, this is just an initial swatch. I haven't used this on my face, so we'll definitely see that soon. But swatching the pencil, I do really like the color. I am especially excited about using the lip pencil. Obviously, the pencil and these shades look good together in combination, so very excited to use that. So moving on, I have a translucent loose setting powder. This is from Mercier. I do have the full-size version, but I haven't been using using the full-size version as my everyday powder. I've been using my Pat McGrath one, which I talked about in my last favorites video, and I do still really love it. However, Laura Mercier, cult classic. It's really amazing. Everybody has raved about it since the beginning of makeup time. So I like that it does come in a teeny version. Just in general, I can't go without using a translucent setting powder. I feel like it doesn't compromise the color of your makeup. It doesn't add extra cakiness like an actual foundation powder on top of a foundation can do. You should just try to get all your coverage from the liquid portions of your makeup, like the foundation and the concealer, and the translucent powder is just to set it and give it a nice finish and make it a little more long lasting. That way it still keeps the right nice texture of the skin. That's what a really good translucent setting powder will do. So it just looks exactly like the big version. There's no poof or anything inside, which is fine by me because I use brushes to be able to put on my powders on my face. I'm gonna wait to pull this up. I know exactly what a translucent powder looks like and feels like. That's what it is. It comes in a mini version for those of you who are looking for a translucent setting powder in a mini. Okay, I'm gonna do a little bit of backtracking to the liquid products, and this is my all-time favorite concealer of all time, which is why it's my all-time favorite. So this is by NARS. It is their Radiant Creamy Concealer. I'm not sure if you can pick this up in the mini and all of the different colors in the Sephora store, but online I did get this in my shade, which is Cafe Au Lait, which is light 2.4. I really love this. I do use this every single day, so it's not really first impressions, but I felt like compared to some of the other concealer options on Sephora's website, I was just really glad to find my jam in a mini size, because regardless of whatever videos, I'm definitely going to use this. I think it's adorable. The lid is literally the same size as the product, so maybe like it's not necessarily cost effective to buy all of your makeup in minis like I just did, but it's so cute. Look how cute it is. It's like a little tiny version of my regular concealer. I love the glass bottle so you can see exactly what's inside. Looks very fancy. It does have the same little doe foot applicator. I know it's the right shade. I actually like this in a couple different colors that I'll use depending on the time of the year. I just really love this. Such a good concealer. It's mainly supposed to be for brightening like under eye circles in this whole area here, but I use it on my hyperpigmentation spots and I feel like it still works really well for those. Doesn't make me break out either, so love that. Next, you know I don't ever put on eyeshadow without an eyeshadow primer underneath, and I have actually not used either of these products. This is from Fenty Beauty. It's a duo and it comes with a mini eye primer and a mini fly liner, which is their eyeliner as a set in two, which is fantastic because obviously to complete a look, you guys know I love a nice winged line, and I wanted to try this one out specifically because I love trying every single I said that like 3 times. I love trying every single liquid eyeliner out there to see if there are any be-all end-all forever amazing one that will work on Asian eyelids, on monolids, ones that aren't going to rub off, give you panda eyes by the end of the day, or are flaking or are too shiny or whatever. You guys, I just need to like make my own eyeliner. It's probably harder than it sounds. I'll try, you guys. Anyway, super excited to test this out. I don't even know if I knew that Fenty had an eyeshadow primer, but they have everything. Oh my gosh, it's so cute. Look how adorable these little minis are. Oh, I love this. It comes with a doe foot applicator, so kind of like the old school Urban Decay primers used to do. Although I feel like, speaking long term, right, it's probably going to be impossible to get all the primer out of this solid case. So I could see this definitely being a short-term use product or just one for travel. Gotta make sure it's closed really tightly, otherwise it'll dry out. And then the little mini eyeliner, I actually really love the triangular shape of the bottle. Feels really good in the hand. It looks like this is a felt tip eyeliner, which I do love, but we'll see how it performs and if it gets kind of frizzy over time, because those are my usual big complaints about felt tip. Although I will say in general, I do prefer felt tip over the brush in the beginning. Brush just seems to last longer without frizzing. It just says long wear liquid eyeliner. It doesn't necessarily say waterproof, so that's definitely something to be tested. Next, I wanted to talk about a mini mascara. This is from Lancome. It's their Monsieur Big, but the reason I picked up this one in particular because they had a mini waterproof mascara. When I searched through Sephora, there were a few different mini mascaras, but I believe this was the only one that came in waterproof. Well, actually, that's not true. I think the Too Faced Better Than Sex might have had a mini version. However, I've tried that mascara before and it definitely does not work if you have short Asian lashes that won't hold a curl. That formula is a little too wet, does not hold the curl for me, but I feel like this one is a little more promising. So I am very excited to use this. Let's open it up and see what it looks like. It has just as large of a brush as the regular version, so it is a full-size brush just in a little mini container. Regular bristles, they're not silicone, they're typical bristles, and it looks like it's even all the way around and slightly tapered at the tip. Will it pass the Asian lash test? I'ma test you out. We shall see. Okay, one last thing. I have a Laneige lip sleeping mask. This was just one of the freebies that came in with my order. I had another one that's a perfume, but honestly, like, I almost never wear perfume, especially now with kids. I just don't want to like get all my scent all over them. But this I really do love. I have used this before, and if you guys haven't felt the Laneige lip sleeping mask, it makes your lips so fluffy and beautiful and smooth when you wake up in the morning. So I highly do recommend this. I thought it was really great to get a little teensy trial size. I could use that when I'm traveling as well. So following up on the things that I put on my skin earlier to see if the colors would change, the CC cream looks like it'll match just fine. It didn't oxidize or get too dark over time. Looks like the liquid lipsticks, the matte version definitely did turn a lot darker and more purple. The demi matte didn't as much, so I'm guessing I might try out the demi matte one if I'm gonna wear it like during the daytime. So that shade did definitely change color, which I expected it to. The eyeshadows still look fantastic from Natasha Denona, and that is about it. So I'm super excited to use these products. I really hope you guys enjoyed watching this. If you did, don't forget to hit thumbs up on the video and smash the like button if you want to see me do more Sephora hauls. Or if there are any mini products that you guys are super jazzed about, let me know in the comments, because this is just opening my mind to the world of minis out there, and I definitely do want to get all the things on my face for a future video. So if you are excited about me doing a full face of minis in like one try on video, let me know that down in the comments. I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.